Squish, it's so good to see you. Glad to be back with you. Always a pleasure. And I'm very excited because we're going to be reading one of my favorite books. Squish, are you familiar with Dr. Seuss? Dr. Seuss? Dr. Smace? Is he a doctor? Who is this guy? I don't know if I know who he is. Oh, Dr. Seuss? Probably the most well-known children's book author of all time, I would imagine. Well, I guess you've never read Dr. Seuss's Sleep Book then, which is the gem that we're going to be sharing today. And I think we'll just jump right in because why wait? Now, Squish, this book, I just want to let you know at the beginning, it says this book is to be read in bed. But are you in bed, Squish? No, I'm not in bed. Of course I'm not in bed. I sleep in a 70-foot by 70-foot water bed. It's very comfortable. It's exactly what I need. I deserve that level of comfort. Okay, Squish. Sorry. While we're not in bed, I mean, you can be in bed, dear viewer, but this book was meant to be read in bed. Anyway, let's just jump right in. Dr. Seuss's Sleep Book. The news just came in from the county of Keck that a very small bug by the name of Van Vleck is yawning so wide you can look down his neck. This may not seem very important, I know, but it is, so I'm bothering telling you so. A yawn is quite catching, you see, like a cough. It takes just one yawn to start other yawns off. Now the news has come in that some friends of Van Vleck's are yawning so wide you can look down their necks. At this moment, right now, under 7 more noses, great yawns are in blossom, they're blooming like roses. The yawn of that one little bug is still spreading. According to latest reports, it is heading across the wide fields, through the sleepy night air, across the whole country toward every which where. And people are gradually starting to say, I feel rather drowsy. I've had quite a day. Creatures are starting to think about rest. 2 bifferbaum birds are now building their nest. They do it each night, and quite often I wonder how they do this big job without making a blunder. But that is their problem, not yours and not mine. The point is, they're going to bed, and that's fine. Sleep thoughts are spreading throughout the whole land. The time for night brushing of teeth is at hand. Up at Herkimer Falls, where the great river rushes and crashes down crags and great gargling gushes, the Herkimer sisters are using their brushes. Those falls are just grand for toothbrushing beneath, if you happen to be up that way with your teeth. The news just came in from the castle of Krupp that the lights are all out and the drawbridge is up. And the old drawbridge drawer just said with a yawn, My drawbridge is drawn, it's going to stay drawn, till the milkman delivers the milk about dawn. I'm going to bed now, so nobody better come around with a special delivery letter. The number of sleepers is steadily growing. Bed is where more and more people are going. In Culpeper Springs and the Stiltwalkers' Hall, the Stiltwalkers' stilts are all stacked on the wall. The Stiltwalker walkers have called it a day. They're all tuckered out and they're snoozing away. This is very big news, it's important to know, and that's why I'm bothering telling you so. Way out in the west, in the town of Merced, the Hinklehorn Honking Club just went to bed. Every horn has been quietly hung on a hook for the night in its own private Hinklehorn nook. All this long, happy day they've been honking about, and the Hinklehorn honkers have honked themselves out. But they'll wake up quite fresh in the morning, and then they'll start right in Hinklehorn honking again. Everywhere creatures are falling asleep. The collapsible Frink just collapsed in a heap, and by adding the Frink to the others before, I am able to give you the Who's Asleep score. Right now, 40,404 creatures are happily, deeply in slumber. I think you'll agree that's a whopping fine number. Counting up sleepers, just how do we do it? It's really quite simple. There's nothing much to it. We find out how many, we learn the amount by an audio-teleo-talio count. On a mountain halfway between Reno and Rome, we have a machine in a plexiglass dome which listens and looks into everyone's home. And whenever it sees a new sleeper go flop, it jiggles and lets a new biggle ball drop. Our chap counts these balls as they plop in a cup, and that's how we know who's down and who's up. Do you talk in your sleep? It's a wonderful sport, and I have some news of this sport to report. The world champion sleep talkers, Joe and Mo Redzoff, have just gone to sleep and they're talking their heads off. For 55 years now, each chattering brother has babbled and gabbled all night to the other. They've talked about laws and they've talked about gauze. They've talked about paws and they've talked about flaws. They've talked quite a lot about old Santa Claus. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you should take up this sport. It's just fine for the jaws. Do you walk in your sleep? I just had a report of some interesting news of this popular sport. Near Finnegan Fen, there's a sleepwalking group which not only walks, but it walks a la hoop. Every night they go miles while they walk to such length, they have to keep eating to keep up their strength. So every so often, one puts down his hoop, stops hooping, and does some quick snooping for soup. That's why they are known as the Hoop Soup Snoop Group. Sleepwalking, too, are the curious crandalls who sleepwalk on hills with assorted-sized candles. The crandalls walk nightly in slumbering peace, in spite of slight burns from the hot, dripping grease. The crandalls wear candles because they walk far, and if they wake up, want to see where they are. A Mr. and Mrs. J. Carmichael Crocs have just gone to bed near the town of Fort Knox, and they, by the way, have the finest of clocks. I'm not at all sure that I quite understand just how this thing works with that one extra hand, but I do know this clock does one very slick trick. It doesn't tick-tock, how it goes is tock-tick. So with tick-snits talker and tock-snits ticker, it saves lots of time and the sleepers sleep quicker. What a fine night for sleeping, from all that I hear. It's the best night for sleeping in many a year. They're even asleep in the Zwieback Motel, and people don't usually sleep there too well. The beds are like rocks, and as everyone knows, the sheets are too short, they won't cover your toes. So if people are actually sleeping in there, it's a great night for sleeping. It must be the air. It's a great night for snores. I just had a report of some boys who are tops in this musical sport. The snortiest snorers in all our fair land are Snorter McPhail and his Snorerous Snort Band. The loudest of all of the boys is McPhail. He snores with his head in a 3-gallon pail. So they snore in a cave 20 miles out of town. If they snored closer in, they would snore the town down. Do you know who's asleep out in Funa Laguna? 2 very nice Funa Laguna baboona. We've added them into our Who's Asleep count, which has grown to a really amazing amount. Exactly 8,808 creatures are sleeping now. Isn't that great? A jet is in bed, and the bed of a jet is the softest of beds in the world, it is said. He makes it from pom-poms he grows on his head, and he's sleeping right now in the softest of fluff, completely exhausted from growing the stuff. The news has come in from the district of Doft that 2 oft are asleep and they're sleeping aloft. And how are they able to sleep off the ground? I'll tell you, I weighed one last week and I found that an oft is so light he weighs minus 1 pound. A moose is asleep, he is dreaming of moose drinks. A goose is asleep, he is dreaming of goose drinks. That's well and good when a moose dreams of moose juice, and nothing goes wrong when a goose dreams of goose juice. But it isn't too good when a moose and a goose start dreaming they're drinking the other one's juice. Moose juice, not goose juice, is juice for a moose, and goose juice, not moose juice, is juice for a goose. So when goose gets a mouthful of juices of mooses, and moose gets a mouthful of juices of gooses, they always fall out of their bed screaming, scream. So I'm warning you now, never drink in your dreams. Speaking of dreaming, I think you should know that the Bumbletub Club is now dreaming afloat. Every night they go dreaming down Bumbletub Creek, except for one night every 3rd or 4th week when they stop for repairs because their Bumbletubs leak. But tonight they're afloat, full of dreams, full of bliss, and that's why I'm bothering telling you this. At the fork of a road in the Vale of Avode, 5-foot-weary salesmen have laid down their load. All day they've raced around in the heat at top speeds, unsuccessfully trying to sell Zizzerzoof seeds, which nobody wants because nobody needs. Tomorrow will come, they'll go back to their chore. They'll start on the road Zizerzoofing once more. But tonight they've forgotten their feet are so sore, and that's what the wonderful nighttime is for. Everywhere creatures have shut off their voices. They've all gone to beds in the beds of their choices. They're sleeping in bushes, they're sleeping in crannies, some on their stomachs and some on their fannies. They're peacefully sleeping in comfortable holes, some even on soft-tufted barbershop poles. The number of sleepers is now past the millions. The number of sleepers is now in the billions. They're sleeping on steps and on strings and on floors and mailboxes, ships, and the keyholes of doors. Every worm on a fishhook is safe for the night. Every fish in the sea is too sleepy to bite. Every whale in the ocean has turned off his spout. Every light between here and Farfoodle is out. And now adding things up, we are way beyond billions. Our Who's Asleep score is now up in the zillions. 99 zillion, 9 trillion, and 2 creatures are sleeping. So how about you? When you put out your light, then the number will be 99 zillion, 9 trillion, and 3. Good night. Squish, squish. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Squish, wake up. Ah! almost immediately. I don't even know, what was that story about? Was it about running around? Was it about potatoes? Was it about, what was it about? Squish, it was about sleeping, which apparently you were doing. You fell asleep during it, and that's the dream of this book, is to fall asleep while you're reading it. But sorry, I woke you up. It's pretty important that I did, because I had a question for you, and then I hope that you might have asked a friend about it. But let me ask you first, and then you can tell me if you had the time to get out on the town and get some answers. So my question for you, Squish, is, have you ever had a really interesting dream? Are you kidding? I do nothing but have interesting dreams. They're amazing. So often they feature a unicorn, and that unicorn can sometimes talk and sometimes it can't. But always I can fly, and sometimes I have fins. But I usually have flowing hair, and it's like really nice curly hair. I really like it. And then sometimes I'm in outer space, and when I'm in outer space, I'm usually eating peanuts. And then those peanuts that are really messy that you get at ball games, and it's delicious, and I can almost taste it when I'm asleep. But that's just like a part of some of my dreams, because I have a lot of dreams. But I did get out on the town, and I did ask my friend Blump if she could tell me about a dream that she's had. So I'd like to share that with you, okay? Okay? Yeah, that sounds great. We'd love to hear from her. Can you tell me about a dream that you've had, some kind of dream you've had that was interesting?
Once there was a unicorn. It was wearing overalls in my dream.
A unicorn wearing overalls? What happened?
And it walked up to us and started to talk.
Wait, what was it saying? What was this overall wearing unicorn saying?
It was saying something about mud, how it liked mud so much.
What? A muddy unicorn? I've never heard of such a thing. Was it covered in mud?
No. It just took a shower. It went in water and took a shower.
Well, that sounds like kind of a fun dream. Thanks. Well, that was a great answer. What a terrific sounding dream. I mean, I'm not trying to compare your dream and her dreams. It's impossible, right? We all have different dreams, and a lot of the time we forget them. But one of the cool things you can do is you can write down your dreams right after you wake up, and then look at it a couple years later, and you'll be like, whoa, that's what happens in my brain when I'm not awake, which is pretty cool. But anyway, Squish, it's been an absolute honor, pleasure. Sorry that you missed so much of the story. It's hard with a long story to stay awake. However, it is the middle of the day and you're an adult, so I'm a bit surprised that you fell asleep, but I'm not trying to judge you for that. We all get sleepy at times. That's true, right? Yeah, of course it's true. You probably fell asleep during it too. I don't have any evidence that you didn't, because I was asleep, so maybe you were asleep too and you never even read the book. Well, that's not true. But that's just fine. And we hope that you enjoyed Dr. Seuss's sleep book. Have a wonderful day. Belle, I'm so happy you could join us. What a treat. I had a question for you. I hope you have read or heard me read Dr. Seuss's sleep book, but let me ask you a question. Who can look down their own neck?
Plibby Ploboo.
Who's Plibby Ploboo?
My best friend named Plibby Ploboo.
And how are they able to look down their own neck?
It's magical.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Thanks.